What did we get up to while I was away? Hopefully nothing too crazy. Right. Now, the stops have all got the requisite number of trains at them. We have got a new quality grinder ready to go. But in this particular instance, I'm going to need a couple of other things, aren't I? I could bring that over to the... Well, if I were to set this up somewhere around here, because these are going to require superconductors, which are produced there. Everything else actually is okay, so I should probably bring it down here instead. I'll place that there. What? Uh-oh. Gleber got glebed. Got a larger area of here. The changes to Gleber have been very interesting. How the nests will only consume spores when they produce stompers or strafers. And that small egg, the small egg raft won't consume spores because they can't produce stompers or strafers. And that wigglers will not launch an attack by themselves. They can launch an attack as part of a larger attack group, but never just by themselves. That's quite an interesting one. There we are, already rebuilt. We lost 10 turrets. Hardly that worrying, though. Not for our Gleben base. All right, let's get out there. Let's go deal with the scalawags. And then get back to Navis. Falgora. Right, this is a reasonably large area over here, it looks like. Hello, hello, hello. Indeed, hello. Let's pop you if I can. Thank you. Let's continue strafing around a little bit. Kill the strafers. They're the highest target priority right now. Now, the egg rafts don't like being without strafers or stompers now. So they will try and regenerate them wherever possible. I should be okay taking care of all of these. There we go. Let's get up there and take care of you. Now that should be the lot now. There. Nice and easy. But yeah, they've definitely toned down Gleber, which is an interesting one. I imagine that's going to be great news to some people who I know were struggling a little bit, but I feel a little bit sad. I liked Gleber's challenge. And the changes that they've made are not the sort of changes you can overcome by changing settings on world generation. They've fundamentally changed how the Glebans react to stuff. Yeah, I'm a little bit saddened with that. I kind of like Gleber as it is, or as it was, I guess. Though I will say it does mean that we haven't had to pop back here in what, 5 hours or so of streaming. Right, we want processing units, advanced circuits, and superconductors over here. We're also going to require basic production of the... Oh, actually, you know what? Let's move this down here. You see, this way, I could potentially have the lowest... See, I've got to deliver these over here. But what if I could get them at a higher quality? All I would need to do is make sure that they are being delivered on this route. And in there. And that I am A-okay with. If I do that, then I could set this one up as U. Now this will request only these components. And it needs this as well. But these could be of a higher quality ultimately. I'm going to want to pull this one down about there. Now these ones, unfortunately, like at this point, I have to assume that I'm not going to get high quality versions of this because I'm not trying to grind these as a high quality. I could, I suppose. But should I? Is the big question. That is the big question. Aavak, it's been 7 months since you last did 7 Days to Die stream. They've all been uploaded. Like the 7 Days to Die collab, that's finished. But, I mean, I'm quite open to the idea of doing a new series on 7 Days to Die. It's gone through a lot of changes since the last time I played. Mangapork says 90% of the playtest experience was the devs changed Gleber again. 75% of the players liked the change. 25% of the players liked it as it was. Yeah, no, that absolutely sounds right. Absolutely sounds right. This one, to produce these, will just need green and red circuits. This needs blue and red circuits. And this needs blue, red, and superconductors. So, what I could do is I could quality grind these ones and supply them up here. I could quality grind these ones and supply them over here. It's an interesting question. It is certainly an interesting question. What say you, champ? What do you think? Should we try and quality grind all the way up? But the problem with that is that realistically, I would be investing a lot of these materials just to make a higher quality, just to make like an intermediary item. So it is probably in my best interest instead to make just regular versions of this and supply it. Now, if I'm going to do that, then it makes more sense to do this. If I wanted to use multiple qualities, then I could supply them all the way down through here. But if I do it this way instead, then I can just supply the relative ingredients along the way. And then eventually get the higher qualities over here. Mango Pork says, I exclusively grind end products to preserve my sanity. Joke's on you. I don't have any sanity. I lost that a long time ago. All right, okay, we're going to set this up about here, I think. That being said, maybe popping this up here because I'm going to have an easier time hooking into that would be the wiser move. But honestly, anyway, it kind of works, really. Over here would work in its own way. Right. Let's go ahead and pop down some power. This can... honestly, this one shouldn't be requesting anything. It should be purely a provider chest in a way. As for these, they should all request whatever it is that they need. Make this stack. Maybe I'll rotate those around just so they look a bit better. And then they connect up there. And this should be set requests. Read ingredients. All of these should read ingredients. Rotary said, I liked having a buffer chest there so it can request the lower tier ingredients for grinding, but these will effectively do that anyway. The only lower tier it won't request is this one. I guess I could put that there. Purely for that request, but the others will be requesting the other ingredients. There we go. Oh, good lord. Have we finished this? Oh, we have. Okay, fair enough. Alright, well, that station is now completely over. Let's remove that. Once that's gone, this should go elsewhere. So you will immediately be confused. Probably should have done that a bit differently. There we go. Right, we'll pull all that down in a moment. We are now going to have quite a few trains waiting in this system. But back to this. So, we are going to want the best quality chips that we currently have, which I will get to in a moment. And this one is going to be red and blue. So I'm going to shimmy this back by 2. 3, I guess. It's going to be these 2. This is the only one that requires the we're going to want... How many do they need? It needs very little, actually. So that should be enough. Let's go and split this off. So, going to want you about there. Up there. Going to want a splitter. I'll take care of that. Green circuits by themselves down here, red and then blue, can come through here as a dedicated line. Honestly, I could split off the green circuit here. Or are you grabbing? You're grabbing both, actually. Yeah, you are grabbing both. So I'm going to need both of these in a way. I want to filter out the batteries. Shit. God damn it. There we go. Right, so green and red will be over here. How much green? 0.66 and 0.66. That'll work for both. This needs 0.33 and 0.33. So once again, that'll work for both. And now I just need to bring down the red and blue circuits. Let's use my general. There we are. How am I going to get that over there? This is a trickier one that I would like. But I think here works. So we'll go with red and blue. And we'll upgrade these. We're going to need to move this one across. Right, so up and around. And then we'll just bring that up in 2 places. And then we've got our mixed belt. Perfect. Right, that should give me everything I need to get all of this going. There we go. Right, now at this point, I just want these circuits. So, for the time being, I'm going to wait until these are made. Now, how many of these do they need? It needs 4 of them, which is kind of gonna be a bit of a potch, but that's all right. And then I'm gonna start filling this one up, and then we're gonna go down from there. Do you even need the requested chest for the normal quality? Yes. Actually, I don't need it to be a requested chest, no. But it isn't a problem that it is. I do want this to unload onto that, because this is going to be a little bit of everything. Though I guess I could just have this delivered down here. And likewise with this one, have them restrict how much they unload based on what's in there. That's a good question, though. But we're starting to produce them, so here we go. Quality 3s. Now, what I can do is... Where are we? Just load this one up first. But no, you're right. I don't need it, but having multiple sources of inputs is no particular reason not to. This can just pull from whatever's in the main system, I guess. Or I can tell this one not to request, but just to be a chest that'll stockpile materials here. I don't know. Oop, there we go. There we are. Now, if we have a look at this, we've got a 50% productivity and quality 7.5%. Yeah, keeping the chest in does make it good for blueprinting. Right, well, with that, on the note of blueprinting, I think 'tis time. I mean, this one is going to be quality grinding very specifically. Well, I'm going to wait until I've got the quality in all of these first. But once this one's full up, then I put them in here, and then I work my way through the rest of them then at that point. Oh, that productivity, though. That is so glorious. My lord. Greatly approve. Deeply, greatly, massively approve. Let's pump these in. There you go. They'll be a bit faster now. Yeah, that 50% is just amazing. And it's not like I'm hurting for materials either. Honestly, I kind of feel like I need to grind more of these materials down. I mean, what I can do over here is, the idea is I'm going to quality grind scrap, but I will then probably have something like this, which collects all of the various resources the scrap might produce. Oh, wait a second. Why isn't that being? Oh, it's full. Wow. Wasn't expecting that, if I'm honest. Have we completely backed up? No, we have not. Something is broken somewhere. Yeah. When I was placing these in at some point, I broke something. Yeah, right here. There we go. Well, that is likely a big part of where all of this silliness was coming from. Just request all of it. There we go. Right. We are starting to stockpile them then. So, first things first. Get that one on the go. And then all of these besides. And once all of those are done, I will allow it to start grinding. I wonder if this will grind if those are requested. We'll find out. We will soon find out. Want to watch what happens here. Oh, that's going to be amazing. I could always speed beacon these as well. Got 2 coming in. Are they going to be automatically required? No, they're going to be automatically ground. So I will turn that off for now then. There we go. That gets loaded in. This is the most important one because everything will be made more betterer as these build up. Oh, of course, of course. Speed modules will reduce the quality, of course. Yeah. I keep forgetting about that. I like it is such an annoying thing to. It's so easy to forget. It's like, oh yeah, I could just throw this down and it would be fine. I would want a beacon efficiency, but only if these draw way too much power. And to be fair, they're drawing 2.07 megawatts, so efficiency modules might not be the worst idea. I know. See, it wasn't for a lack of having read the tooltip before. It was simply a brain fart in that moment. I don't use beacons very often, so it's not second nature to consider all of the myriad ways it'll work differently. This is basically bug fixing. The equivalent of having forgotten to account for some change in your programming where you used greater than or equal to, and now you need to specifically be checking for greater than, rather than a lack of understanding of what the operand does. Okay, I kind of wish that they weren't loading into that one, but whatever. That'll be fine. Oh, wow, okay. That is doing the job very well. Right. Okay, well, that's good. What's the next thing I would want to be working on? What's involved in making these? Oh. I mean, this one I would need spoilage for, so I can't do it here. And this one I would also need, likewise, high quality stuff for. This only increases the craft speed, which, while that is great, doesn't really matter to me. It's realistically quality that matters. Quality modules, well, all of the modules, honestly, but quality modules in particular, high. Accumulators, lightning towers, solar panels, things that have a function would matter to me. But outside of those, not as much. Why do you insist on being so annoying? I'm thinking I'm probably going to want to bring this down to around here. And across. And I can have the stacker about there. How are we doing? Actually not going too bad. Oh, we're already starting to stock up the materials over there. Mind you, that was probably already in the network from elsewhere. Right, so I'm going to want a very similar setup that I've got down here. Where I will be able to stockpile all of the quality ingredients. From there, I will probably want to say that if they're not being stockpiled, it's because they're not needed, and to quality grind them again, and to keep rotating through that system, so on and so forth, and so on and so forth. But I'm thinking I'm going to want to try and limit how much it pulls out to a certain amount of stacks. I don't know. I mean, I could just split it off into various different quality levels and have these available for each quality level. Oh God, why am I doing this? Oh, that's because that shouldn't actually be there. Never mind. Crisis averted. Realistically, there's probably only a couple of things that I actually care that much about, like the stone and the ore. I probably don't care. Maybe I'll stockpile it anyway, but I don't think I will. Pump jacks are nice because they reduce resource consumption. Ah, cool. I think miners do as well, don't they? Yeah. Oh, right, okay, your fault. Very well. Time for you to come back and unload. You're going to drag your bots across the great open plain where it's probably going to be electrocuted to death. You will follow it along. The little bot that could. You're now safe. Right, an army of bots should be on the way. Yes, indeed. Good, good, good. All manner of other gubbins going elsewhere. I probably want a fail-safe system for this, whereby if I can't store something, there is always a chest that will accept it ultimately, but that it'll immediately just dump it in that instance. We'll see. Right, we're almost done over here. In fact, one more and we are done. Gotta get those legendary cargo. I don't think cargo wagons actually improve it. Chests do, but not wagons, unfortunately. Oh wow, they really are spiking, aren't they? Cumulative charge drops down a bit below half now. Well, that isn't a biggie. Right, we're done. Time to start grinding. Alright, from this point on, this system is now able to start improving itself. And I'm just going to let it do that. Once we've got a stockpile of the higher quality materials, I will feed that back into the system to improve the quality materials, and so on and so forth, and so on and so forth. Right, so with that done, we'll send our Spidertron down here. I'll wait for the lightning to stop, actually. You know what? No, I won't. Let's go. We ride. This is just so convenient to have this done here. All right, let's get back over here. Start hoovering up all of the gubbins. Oh, damn it. That's unfortunate. That is less so. Where am I gonna... Ooh, actually, I'm gonna want this probably up here somewhere. I'm gonna want the station probably on that side. Maybe even closer to here, perhaps. We'll find out. But the stacker here should be about there. And then we'll have the loading station around this side. Now, if I want to help this along, then it does make sense for me to start making the areas that'll stockpile resources. So I would want... This is lower quality. Let me go and grab this. So we're going to want a very similar system to this. That's pretty much everything that we produce. So this could be here. Don't need these two. I mean, I could stockpile it. There's no particular reason not to, I guess. Oh, there we are. I'm going to need to make sure that all of these are... any, actually. I wish there were an easy way for me to do this. I do not believe there is. I could just say above a certain, like, basic quality. But it would be exactly the same amount of work. And it would be ever so slightly less clear what I was asking for. The other thing is I could just tell these to stockpile certain things, but I'm not sure that would really help. I do worry about using the storage, though, for this. Like, I feel like it may genuinely be better if I used provider chests. To very expressly say, don't just drop random stuff over here, only take from these. And even then, only 2 stacks of anything. Now, with that in mind, how about I move this across a little bit? Might be wondering why, but I'll get to that in a second. So with that done, we can now work on the next one, which is exactly the same thing, which will live there, and then this one will go here. I know that this is above regular quality. So this will be my uncommon. This will be my... There we go. Uncommon, everything else goes this way. This is now for rare. And technically that's as far as I can take this right now. But we'll go further. This would be for epic. It will almost certainly never, ever get to this point. But, you know, let's plan for the future. So that's epic going down this way, and this is legendary now on that side. Oh, how I would love it if this would fit better. Is there a possibility of me doing that? No. No. Sad. There we are. All right. With this point, then, I will re-merge them. Or I could just take them all up and then have them merge later. Let's go ahead and just bring this up here. It's going to look a little bit less convenient, but whatever. Nope. It's off by one. And then this should go back through the system and get crunched down again. And this would effectively make all of these higher quality materials available to me in the network. There we are. So with that, merge everything back down and then can run it back into this. Now, how do I get it down there is another question entirely. Or alternatively, I just don't. And instead I reserve this one purely for dealing with any off-runs. I think that actually might be better. Because I don't anticipate having a lot of material coming through here. And eventually, maybe we'll even get up to legendary and then I'll just crunch it down anyway because I can't store it. So, you know, on that point, I'm changing my mind. I want to stockpile as much of these gubbins as I possibly can. If I can't store an entire chest of legendary materials, then I'm probably in a position to crunch it back down. Outside of that, however, no. No monchins or crunchins. Do I care about, like, high-quality ice? No. No, I do not. All right. Don't destroy legendary items, Aavak. It makes the dwarves unhappy. Well, they're just going to have to be unhappy then, aren't they? In all of that time, all we've done is get more of these. Oh, that's painful. That is shockingly painful. What are the odds of us actually getting a... Oh, no, I have gotten a couple. I just haven't gotten any high-quality superconductors. Oh, actually, I've got a couple of these, too. None of those, though. Never mind. All right, well... I shall, in fact, require some of these, then. Is there a way of me checking for that? Is there a way that I could check for this? Whether this is needed elsewhere? If I were to place these down here, let's just have a quick look. Could I make this, say, I'm going to use one that I don't have. I'm going to pop it there. And I'm just going to request... Yes, okay, so that is going to tell me what the request is. Alright, that'll work. In that case, what I could do is have a roboport over here. And... a... decider combinator. I would provide this on the green, this on the red. If each green is greater than each I could... Actually, I could use the arithmetic combinator here instead. So, each green, red, look up the requests, deduct red from green, and output each, and then set filter based on that. No, I don't want to set filter based on that. Because it has to be below that. Like, I want to have a stop at this point. Can I use a selector combinator to do this if I popped it into quality transfer? Because the signal I want to say is below this quality. I wonder. I could, in a way, it's not as ideal. I could effectively pull from this chest into another one only if I needed it. But honestly, this feels like I'm at that point getting a little bit OTT. And so instead, I'm going to... Can I not? Apparently. No, I can't. You know what then? I'm going to copy this. Ah! Nope. Ooh. Nope. There. I'm starting to feel like maybe I should have reserved some just at the lowest quality level, just in case. Another thing I could do... Actually, you know what? I think I've got an idea of how we can do this. Let me try that again. So, we would want an arithmetic combinator. Followed by a decider combinator. And this should be if each... Oh, I can't do that. Damn. Okay, let's remove that. If... No, I can't. Damn. Anything? No. Oop. I was going to try and check for this, whether it's below that, but that's not going to work. I need to flip all of the recyclers on the bottom row. Oh, yes, so I do. Thank you. Thank you very much, Road Train. That definitely helped. But yeah, I can't think of an easy way to ensure that the filter is above this signal. Other than, for the time being, just saying that it has to be below this and just allowing it to accrue for a little bit. That's not ideal, but it'll get us where we need to be. This has now got a quality chance, is 10% chance of it outputting a higher quality. As time goes on, these will accrue more and more. Right, let's get back down here. How are we doing with Spidertron? Spidertron's got plenty of room. Let's grab all the gubbins. There we go. Yeah, you got loads of room. I should be able to get everything off here and take it back up to the other side. There we go. Unfortunately, this is a very long stretch of rail where, because of the shenanigans where I cannot branch off in the right way, it's going to take a while to get that where it needs to be. Now, alternatively, what I could do... Actually, yeah, I'm going to get rid of this. Is have this branch up. There we go. And also on this side, have it branch this way. Actually, no. We're going to need to branch a lot earlier. I want this to be able to line up. Yeah, a lot earlier, actually. Let's get rid of that then. Try and make that work. It's a bit ugly. Also a bit ugly. That one not so though. That one does work. Right, so somewhere along here I would need to branch up. Make sure that I enter that circuit correctly. There is no route down in this one. I wonder if I remove this, what would that do? Right, let me get my Spidertron down here. Does that not have a route now? Oh, right, I see. I do need that there, yes. But I won't need it on this side. Right. A little bit further along. Oop. Yes. There we go. Right, okay. I'm going to need to pop that one there. A little bit wasteful on the supports, but it works. Alright. That will give me a nicer rail line there, I think. This route should come down here. And we need a junction there. Junction there. I guess this would work. I dislike having junctions in such tight quarters, but we'll just make that work for now. That'll still be long enough to store a single train. This one less so, but that's why we've got chain signals. This is all considered one block. If I remove that, then it really will be considered one block. I need this there because of the nature of this route there. But otherwise, we should be okay. Have you emptied out? You have. Right, let's get the trains moving again then. And down here we go. It's fine. Right then. Now, down here, we're going to want 2 there and there. 1 here. 1 there. Now, how I'm going to branch this one in, I'm not entirely certain yet. I guess bringing it down here would be the best time to do that. It's not exactly where I wanted it, though. Bring it there. Oh, this soup is very annoying. Right, can I ooh, what I could possibly do is have these merge. Can I? Might need to merge a little bit earlier, but it's possible. Yes, perfect. Right, in that case, can this fit a train? It can, and this one doesn't strictly need to. Just needs that there. I really dislike doing that, but we'll make it work. All that matters is that I've got a stacker over here. Technically, I guess I could just have this there, and that would still work. Right. Time for the connection point down. There we are. And now I can have my station somewhere around here. Would this be enough? Technically speaking, I only need the cargo wagon to be accessible. And the cargo wagon would indeed be accessible from here. I'm sure this is going to make many people extremely unhappy, though. And that is why we're going to keep it. Oh, man. I need you to go back and get some repair packs then. Oh, let's go back. Got any quality gubbins? Oh, we have got some quality gubbins. Nice. Some gears so far. There's honestly a big part of me that just wants to make more of these right now. Like a really big part, actually. A dangerously large part of me wants just more. More and more and more. I mean, strictly speaking, I would only need this one. Trains apparently can't be hit by lightning strikes, thankfully. How's everything going down here? Should I send out a Spidertron to clear that area a little? I don't think so. I don't think that's necessary at all. What was that on earth was I doing over here? Right. The Spidertron down there. Actually, let's do a stop off over here first. Pick up some miners. And then relocate back down here. These can now be permanently removed because they're actually just soaking up energy that I would much rather be available to the miners in time. Right, as for this, I actually now want to... wrong thing. I want to copy this station again. So, yoink. Like so. Yes, we do want that, though. Right, you need to... oh, God. Hi! You're here too early. Oh, you're not requesting the inserters, are you? Okay. Let's get those on the request. I'm also going to want... iron chests, naturally. And some lights. Other than that, we should be good. How many can you have in your in the stacker here? There is room for exactly one. Fair enough. The other one can hold quite a lot more than that. Also, it is high time for us to decommission this entire railway. Well, that can go. That can be pulled back to here. Right, let's have Spidertron help out. Also, I probably want to go ahead and start looking at other research as well. At some point, I'm going to want to throw some Tesla turrets up on Gleber, realistically speaking. Right, I'm going to want to honestly remove... No! Remove all that. There we go. Just want to take off this connecting point. There we are. The nice thing about these is you only actually need to remove the supporting pillar, and it'll remove everything else. Or it should. Why are you not removing that? Hello? Oh. In this case, it actually could. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Right. Doink. I want you to connect up here, please. Oh. Well, why were you able to do that before, but not now? Well, that is inconvenient. Oh. Right, okay. So I'm going to need to move this a bit further forward to allow that rail to connect. There we go. Sometimes it can be a bit finicky with that sort of stuff, but generally speaking, it does make sense. Right, let's get back down here. I have not crafted the mech armor. I know I have unlocked it though, yeah. Actually, let's just copy all of that. There we go. Wait a second. What on earth did I have over here? Oh, wow. That was a lot more than I actually had hooked up. There was a hell of a lot more over here. Okay, let's flip that around to that side instead. Right, so let's give me the stack size. That's the amount. I need that down here. No, I don't. Yes, I do. There we are. And that'll give me my priority. And then that connects up there. There we go. Alright. Time for me to start laying down some accumulators at this point. Actually have a look at that. It's a reasonable spread. Let's just get another one over here maybe. That gives me a very good spread then. Let's go back, grab some more. In fact, I should probably tell this to stack a few more accumulators than we've got right now. Sure, 100 is good enough, I think. And let's have a look. How many are we waiting on? 126. I mean, to be fair, that's actually not bad. We've placed quite a few then in that case. We're making faster progress with this than I was expecting. And part of that may honestly be coming from the fact that... Oh no, it's unlucky I'm getting any of those available. Though, well, actually no, these two I'm quite possibly pulling. We'll see. Well, look at that. I accept. As and when you have the opportunity, please upgrade this one. So, presently, quality output over here is now 13.9. So it's gone up by 1.4. Quite acceptable. A33 Maxi, thank you very much for the subscription, mate. Welcome. Right, okay, let's start laying down some miners then. Honestly, I may as well just plonk them down in lines. We're gonna need these being fed like so. Moved back by one. Then we're gonna want the miners. Now that should be okay to draw. Damn it. Gonna have to offset this one by a little bit. That should be okay. That one will be okay as well. Now, here is a little bit more of a potch, though. I think what I'll do is... How am I going to move this around? Maybe what I could do instead, then, is actually just get rid of all of that. I'll build it from here instead. This way it isn't as much of a problem, because if I just place these down here, they do cover everything. Apparently, there's still something over here that I can gather. It's annoying, but... I kind of feel that I'm going to need to just plonk that one there instead and just accept that it's going to be a bit less efficient. Right. That will hopefully work. Oh, am I not requesting the belt? Oh, no. That's fine. These don't need to be the high-speed belts, honestly. Right, if we pop... That about there. And I can offset. Actually, those are all now correctly offset. If I place this one about here, that will line up. And let's just capture these from down there so I can place them at the top. Oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4-ish. To filter onto one side. There we go. Right. I'll do the same on the other side. Actually, you know what? We don't need that there. I think that would work a little bit better for here. Right. Now I need to bring energy down. Let's try and offset all of these, though. Just a little bit. Because that's going to let me bring this down around here somewhere. Actually, I could just tuck it into this lane, really thinking about it. Now that, though, that is offset a bit too much. There we go. All right. Am I really just shy that much? Oh, that's annoying. I'll lay the tracks, though. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to fit all of that together, but we'll see what we can do. Right, so that's one part of this patch. We're obviously going to want to hook up the second part as well, and then fill everything else in with accumulators. But this one is going to be able to have 3. It's one in the station, one there, one there. Start to stockpile batteries. Again, not that we're going to be using those, but I appreciate... Ooh, well, well, well. I accept. Very much so, in fact. We're going to slowly move... Well, actually, I probably should have popped them over here, but... yeah. Let's grab these and pop them in here. Darkest Order says, see you all in a few hours after teaching my AI course. Well, best of luck, mate. Yep. We'll gradually fill these out as I replace these ones. And then I'll move on through the queue. Right. Do I want a roboport? No, but I do want a radar. Am I requesting radars? No. Let's change that then. I'll go make a radar. Right, getting things polished up. Shame elevated rails can't transmit power. That doesn't really bother me, if I'm honest. Oh, this one can now have 1, 2, 3. Good, this. Oh. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. Quite a few trains can now be in reserve there. That one's been done. Good, good. Okay. Liking it. Mind you, like, we're nowhere near able to get through the scrap fast enough to make use of it yet, but, you know, we're getting there. We will eventually. Right, I would like to place a radar probably down about here. Just to make sure I can keep an eye on this place no matter where I am. Not gonna need this. Okay. Right, let's have a look. Got a pretty solid amount of coverage here. Let's place that. There as well. Right, from there, going to want a generous helping of these up to about, well, I guess I could put them there as well. Are they all going to be covered, I wonder? Well, there's going to be a decent amount of availability here. This is already chock-a-block, so I don't need to worry about that too much. What priority is this? This is priority 4. Priority 4. Yeah, it's basically the... oh, sorry, no. This is... oh, yeah, it is getting priority 4. Oh, it's yeah. Effectively, it's not going to care. It's just going to keep pumping out trains, basically, because there's a lot of room. Guess that isn't going to make much of a difference then. Right, let's head on. Oh, actually, let's go ahead and finish adding these down. Oops. God damn it. No idea why I'm so all over the place today. I don't think there's any more that I need to put up on that side. want power for all these. Right about there. And I guess here as well. Now, I'm gonna say that we'll have this one branch all the way down there. These can merge, I think. Have I got one that splits? No. It's fine. Let's just add in a filter. Yep. And then not too much more on this side. I think that's it. There we go. Just need a couple more miners and a couple more accumulators, and that place is good. Why don't the trains get hit by lightning? They just don't. Trains don't get hit by lightning, from what I understand. Anything on a track is immune for some reason. But I couldn't tell you what that reason is, I'm afraid. Bottom right miners aren't hooked up. Oh, good call. Still waiting on a bunch of accumulators. Other than that, we are good. Well, that's starting to build up now. Very nice indeed. And we've even got a couple more of these. So I'm going to start hooking up these ones now. Right, what's the odds? We've now got a 19.2% chance of quality on this one. That is absolutely wonderful. What are we going to be working on next? I'm actually going to take that one off. Work a robot speed, maybe? Twice? Sure, I don't see a reason not to. And then start working on lightning damage? Sure. I mean, realistically, in real life, I'm not sure why... Are trains ever at risk of being struck by lightning? I mean, I would assume that there are... Well, it's basically a massive Faraday cage. The people inside would be okay. It would ground quite easily into the tracks, but I could only imagine that would still do damage to the electronics on the trains, so they probably have some degree of protection, whether that's by having like a sort of a... Like, I can't think of any time I've seen like a diesel train with a lightning rod on it, effectively, that would provide protection by very specifically grounding the lightning. But, I mean... Yeah, why don't... Yeah, like, Maximilianus asks a good question. Well, you know, it's just the same as cars. Why don't cars get struck by lightning? Yeah. Don't have a good answer for that, but I would imagine that they're low enough to the ground, they've got a low enough profile that there's almost always something else to hit. Likewise with trains, there's usually going to be power poles nearby, or trees, or the mountains. You know, lightning is going to look for the tallest, most conductive thing. Right, what are we starting to see down here? Are we seeing anything of any? Not really. We've got a little bit of concrete, some solid fuel, I guess. Shouldn't power poles need to be to ground out? Well, I mean, they do though. Power poles out in the like the countryside and stuff over here have protection against being struck by lightning, because they will be otherwise. We're actually getting really good. We're only 78 away now from having all of the components we need. Let's have a watch. What's this going to give us? Rolling the dice. Boring. How deeply disappointing that was. Oh well. I mean, I can't really think of any way that where you've got like large, like pylons. I don't know. What are you talking about? Like the massive pylons that cover great distances, or are you talking like power poles in like, I don't know, along a street or something like that? Because if you're talking like urban, then I imagine the nearby tall buildings would attract lightning more than the power lines would. Right, there we go. This island is now hooked up. Hey, Bilal. We're doing okay, mate. We've got quality grinding set up for quality modules, which seems like the most obvious first step. And we are upgrading our scrap production to quality grind for scrap as well. So that's quite cool. We've got like 10% quality here. I'm almost tempted to increase the amount of quality grinding I'm doing over on this side, but I'm not sure that that is strictly necessary. Attract, yes, but that's not a 100%. Oh, no, I realize that, but most tall buildings build, like, if you're talking about, like, outside of, like, I don't know, a very old part of town or suburbs where things are less regulated. Like, if you're talking about in a more urban environment where it's, like, managed by the council, they will, like, a lot of the like commercial buildings will have lightning rods. Going down for last, sure, fine, okay. I'll do it for you. I could legitimately just have another one of these just down here, I suppose. Or I could have one up here, I guess. If I wanted to move this whole setup back, then I could, in a sense, have this kind of feed up and down. This one would exist just to add more components onto the line, though. But sure. Let's do that, then. I'm going to have these there instead, and this is now going to go straight across. And instead of that, I'm going to move this one back a bit. And this could... Ooh. That's actually kind of a pain. I guess I could do this. and have this branch out like that. And then across like this. There we go. This would allow this one to work through everything. As soon as the available supply is here, then this will start adding more and more. Ooh. Oh, right. Need to just scooch that along a little bit. There we go. Nine says, oh yeah, absolutely. A lightning rod is much cheaper than rebuilding a building after it burned down. So there's no reason not to mandate them. Yeah, like pretty much if most modern builds have to have them, especially in a densely packed urban setting. I don't know if all, I would, like, I don't know either way realistically, but I would strongly suspect that old buildings probably don't. Just because that's kind of just the way it is, you know? It seems to be the case that in many cases like that, the older the area, the more likely they're not going to be up to spec in terms of that kind of setup, you know, having all the correct safety gear. Well, there we go. Let's continue building this around because I strongly suspect we're going to need it. My God, those things are amazing, though. Wow, they cover so much ground. We're doing so much with so little. Let's bring you down. Don't need that there anymore. There we go. Let's go and grab the last couple. But yeah, at this point, we are mostly covered with a 10% chance on all of this scrap being broken down into something high quality. Over here, we're only dealing with normal quality, and I think that's okay. Because switching over to high quality adds so much extra complications to things. Well, I'm noticing now that we are starting to get the higher quality stuff a lot more. Once all of these are the higher quality stuff... Oh, actually, I probably do need to make a point of upgrading these, don't I? Those. Because right now, it's not using any quality over there, which is not exactly what we want. We want to make sure that if this is doing anything, that it's... Will it ever, though? Realistically. I'm not even sure that it can. Oh, no, it does. On occasion. That's fine, then. But yeah, once we've got all of this... Oh, nice. Once we've got all of these set up, then I'll get this one up to the same quality. These ones will be the first ones, probably to Epic. I can't imagine we won't. But Epic is our limit right now. Now, I guess the next thing I could start working on is well, what is the next thing I would want to work on? Realistically speaking. Also, the productivity is now plus 60% on scrap. We've basically got a limitless supply of scrap at this point. That is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Glorious in every way. You know what, though? Am I producing? I must be producing level. Yes, I am. All right. We're going to do a thing. All of these are going to be the slowest possible outputs to make sure that the inserters have the longest time to collect anything. Well, why are you so mean? Did you lose against yourself on your board game? Is that why you're being such a grumpy puss? Actually, once all of these are done, we can upgrade them. I've not played much. Wow. I'm grumpy because I'm working. That seems fair. To me, that seems fair. There we go. Look at that. Whoa. Hang on a second. Are they outputting... What the heck? Huh. Okay, so this no longer works. Okay. How are we going to do this? What's the highest we can stack to? Does it say in here? Four. Okay, so I'm going to override this to 4. For every single one. Now let's just do a spot check. Let's access 4. Access 4. Hopefully, yes. Okay, so now I'm going to tell these 4. I will confess that quality does make things quite a lot more complicated. Quite a lot more complicated. But that's looking better now. Look at that. I was like, wow, we are really rolling low on our just random chance, our 10% chance, because I'm not seeing much at all. But no, it's because they were all clogged. Hey, Sir Al the Salt, while I appreciate that that is a reasonable thing to assume, I would say, I have not at any point today or any other day said that my recycling system is smart. Because I'm not trying to make a smart system. I am going the route of brute force this time round. This is a very brute force system. And it is not trying to be anything more than that. I should probably just process all of this, but... Yeah, slow belts in front of the inserters so they have the best chance to pick things up. Ooh. Oh, my love, come back. Bye. Goodbye. See, the problem is I would need a separate one of those to handle this. And it would need higher quality stone, and it would still only give me regular holmium solution, so I'm just going to let that break down. But now this is looking much better. Go. Looking good. Right, how are we doing over here? Still slowly working through things, but we only have 40 regular quality ones to move around now. We are getting there. I'm being rather stubborn with that one, but whatever. Right, do we have enough to place a couple more of these down over here? I think we probably do. Enough room, that is. So many trains. I could build a new one. And just pop it back here somewhere. Or I could make a little line off to the side or something. So that a train that's over here can just immediately leave. Honestly, I'm not even sure there's any point. Trains are just sat there waiting to go into the station. There's absolutely no point. We've got such a high throughput. Such a massive congestion on the actual recyclers that I don't think anything else would help us right now. Sad to say. We are getting there though. Thankfully, this is going stupid fast. I wonder if I could beacon these ones a little bit more. Such that it would only cover these two. Yeah. That's as far as I can do it, basically. Am I making beacons? No. Probably worth me making higher quality beacons, actually. That might legitimately be one of the next things that I should work on. Because the impact of good quality beacons is enormous. For now, I'll just get some extra, just a little bit extra of these. I like pretending that Aavak is not actually building on top of islands, but on top of the ancient buildings that this civilization used to live in. Whilst there's one or two music tracks for Aquilo that genuinely make me think of Nausicaa Valley of the Wind whenever I hear them. And that might sound strange. Why are they not getting placed? Have I run out of bots? Weird. But the reason why it brings Nausicaa Valley of the Wind to my mind is that, like, they mine machines. They mine engines. Oh, it was my roboport off. Ah, there we go. Like, motors. They literally have. They mine for engines from the old world because they don't know how to make them. They can maintain them a little bit, but mostly they just have vast engine mines. Yeah, these are the best speed modules I've got. They'll be the next thing that I work on creating a quality grinder for. And I absolutely love that. Just the idea of having, you know what, I could just make one of these. You know, mining for engines over, you know, building them yourself, because you've lost that technology. So now you rely on the old world. Engine mines, is that from the manga? I really need to get that, the manga. It's, I believe, no, it's still in the anime, but it goes into less of it in the anime. I love the manga so much. Nausicaa and Akira, the mangas for both, were my I know I should be writing my assignment right now, but I don't want to, so I'm going to procrastinate. But because I feel guilty about not doing something, I'm going to spend my time reading these really, really in-depth mangas, because for some reason that tricks my brain into thinking that I'm being productive. I am educating myself. It totally counts. Those were my go-to for that. But Lady Sheilab actually got me the manga. The box set for Nausicaa and Akira, actually. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. But I watched the anime. I can't remember how long ago I watched the anime. But no, it was absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Though, I will say I was not ready. I was not ready for the difference there. Also, Alicia, let me know if you. I will be going on break in like 5 minutes, Sheilab. So, and yes, I am totally down for some toast with some pate on it. But I like the difference. Oh my god, the manga versus. And you're always going to have this kind of the difference between the depth of the story. It's the same with Akira, honestly. But I was not ready for the feels I had for the God Warrior. Oh my god. When it did as its mother told it to do and lasered the black cube. I'm not going to go into too much detail here. Like the last lines. The last thing Nausicaa told it crumples me still. Like when I read that, when I get to that part in the manga, I legitimately lump in my throat, my eyes get wet. I'm just not prepared for it. Oh my goodness. Absolutely destroys me every single time. But there's so much more depth in it. Like, you've got the whole politics between different like factions and kingdoms. Like you barely touch on it in the anime. I mean, the anime does an amazing job though. And to be fair, the Studio Ghibli animes are all fantastic, and far more consumable. But wow, just if you haven't already, you need, if you enjoyed the anime, you owe it to yourself to read the manga for Nausicaa Valley of the Wind. Absolutely stellar. All right. Okay, let's plonk these down. Want those to be done now when they have the chance. Manga Book says the greatest tragedy of Studio Ghibli is that all of those beautiful movies came at the expense of the worlds that Hayao Miyazaki was building before them. Yeah, I very strongly agree with that sentiment. Right, we've almost finished these now. We've only got 2 more regular ones, then 8 more uncommons and 1 rare. We are definitely starting to move now. Lots of little gubbins in here. I watched the movies back in the 90s and then bought the manga when Viz was translating them. Oh, I don't know if... God, I like had my own like... my first apartment was when I saw... when I saw Nausicaa Valley of the Wind. So I was like in... that was in the 2000s. I moved out quite early. You know, kind of locking horns with my parents. In stupid ways. I got an amazing relationship with my parents, but I was very much at the point where I was developing a very keen sense for who I was as an individual, and existing in someone else's space. As much as I respected and loved my parents dearly, it was causing friction that didn't need to exist. So I moved out as soon as I was able to. But into a tiny, pokey little apartment above a shop. But yeah, that's when I kind of had, and this is a good example of it. I had control over what DVDs I could watch. You know, I finally had the authority to be like, yes, tonight is going to be anime night, and every other night actually. I don't have to feel like I'm the only place where I have any autonomy is in my bedroom, and also I don't have, like, you know, we didn't have like separate, you know, like access to Sky or anything like that. So it was pretty much whatever my parents wanted to watch was what got watched, which meant that I didn't watch much TV, which on the plus side did condition me to read a lot of books. Despite my dyslexia, it was kind of like the thing I did, because it was at least not having to watch whatever like drama my parents were into. Mangapog, big mood. From a financial standpoint, it would have made infinitely more sense to keep living with my parents. Oh yeah, no, absolutely. As much as I appreciated the autonomy, I missed the magic fridge. I deeply missed the magic fridge. But he's like, yeah, but for the sake of my sanity, I had to move out. Yeah, no, I was in exactly the same boat. Bentham, exactly the same boat. I just needed to have my own space and be able to just start further exploring who I was. Because in the shadow of my parents' home, I was limited in the scope that I could explore that. Simple things like I couldn't decorate for myself and stuff like that. And a big part of you finding out who you are is having that responsibility and that, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Being afforded the ability to make your own choices in that regard. But I did miss the magic fridge, because everything else I did for myself. I did my own washing. I did, you know, all of that. Because you know, my father was from a naval background, and my mother was from a nursing background. And between the two of them, it was like, you will never be beholden to anyone else ever. You will know how to make your bed well enough that you could you know like flip a coin off it and all of that kind of stuff. And also, like, my father was like very much a case of, you will be able to like iron your own clothes, and you will be expected to iron your own clothes well enough that you could shave with your collar, you know, that kind of stuff. But and my mother was like, you will never be beholden to a woman the way your father is beholden to me. You will be able to cook, and you will be able to clean, and you will be able to do this and that. And she was very adamant about those things. And so, you know, I did a lot of my own you know, it's kind of like, you know, making my own food and stuff like that. But I didn't have to buy it, which was something I developed a very keen appreciation for. It's like, yes, this is great. This is truly the best of times, when groceries didn't basically eat up all of the money that I was earning. Wonderful times. Truly the best. Also the magic pantry. The magic pantry was second only to the magic fridge. Being like, I feel like baking. I'm going to go into the pantry. Everything I could possibly want. Every herb and spice the world over. This is marvelous. I can basically make anything if I feel bothered enough to do it. I missed that too. I do miss the midnight snacking on everyone's leftovers. Yes. But again, I needed to get out there. I needed to explore myself. And also, just to appreciate that, life isn't all that easy. It's very easy to think, I could do better. And then you're actually forced to do better. And you're like, oh my God, being an adult, it's so exhausting. I'm tired all the time. I didn't know someone could be this tired. That was an eye-opener. There we go. Right, and it's time for a tea break though, chat. Maybe when I get back, I will be able to plonk down a new quality grinder. We will see. We shall see. We're up to 26 now. Yeah, I think we're actually good with that. So I'm going to set this up to aim for the uncommons now. At this point, we're just going to grind down anything that is common. We'll see where we can go. Hopefully, we're going to be able to get to the higher qualities relatively quickly. We'll see. That would be the hope. That was a basic quality, but at the very least over here we're going to be grinding that down, and that has another chance now of getting me rare quality materials, so on and so forth. There we are. But then onwards from that, I think we will set up the production of tier 3 speeds. I think getting tier 3 modules is probably going to be one of the bigger things that we do here. Outside of that, actually, there's one more thing that we're not making yet, and that is Tesla turrets, which I believe have to be made here. Do they need to be made? No, they need to be made in an electromagnetic plant, and they need electrolyte to make. So yeah, probably going to be this is the next thing we set up. So remind me when I come back off tea break, we want to set up production of Tesla turrets. And yeah, other than that, continuing to grind up quality of certain items. We will focus on getting the quality modules first, but then start moving up to quality electromagnetic plants, solar panels, accumulators, so on and so forth. And hopefully we'll be able to start sharing that with our ship. Also, when I come back, I want to work more on the A33 Maxi. I want to flesh out the design properly, get the proper dome shielding at the front. Maybe have a couple of lines of weapon systems deep. That'll give us some more room for our production facilities on the sides, because I want to try and streamline this a little bit more, make this a little bit better than what we currently got. So there's plenty of things for us to work on at the very least. Tier 3 speed is locked on Vulcanus, is it? Oh, I thought we had the ability to make those already. Maybe, you know what? In map, you always see the highest. Right, okay, yeah. Yeah, I get you. You always see, like, when in map, you can basically lay down everything, and I was getting confused by that, I think. All right. Either way, though, we shall return in a little bit with... we'll work on Tesla turrets, and then I'll start putting together a couple of other quality bits. But we'll probably be spending a lot of the next part of the stream working on spaceships, I'm thinking. All right, back soon, chat.